Hello everyone, and welcome back to Itsumi Botanicals. Today we're going to take a deep dive into one of the most crucial techniques for successful tissue culture: filter sterilizing plant growth regulators, also known as PGRs, into our culture media. In this video, we'll cover not only the how-to, but also the science behind it, troubleshooting tips, and even a Q&A segment. Whether you're a hobbyist or starting your professional tissue culture journey, this guide is for you. Let's dive in. Before we begin the process, let's review the essentials that we'll need. We're going to need our plant growth regulators. In this case, I have 6-BAP and gibberellic acid, a sterile fill tip needle, a 5 milliliter syringe, sterile, and a sterile filter at a pore size level of 0.22 microns. A sterile container or vial to collect our filtered solution. In this case, I'm just pouring it directly into my media. We also need a laminar flow hood or a clean area to work in to maintain aseptic conditions. I'm using a steel air box. And personal protective equipment, you can use gloves, a lab coat, and safety goggles. You can see I am not wearing any safety goggles, but I am wearing gloves. Gloves are important. Remember that maintaining a sterile environment is key to preventing contamination in your media. You want to start by preparing your plant growth regulators according to your protocol. I do have a video regarding how to do that. It will be linked down in the description. But you want to make sure that the solution is free of any visible particulates by gently swirling it around. And you want to work inside your laminar flow hood or on a sterilized bench. Disinfect it with 10% bleach solution to ensure that everything is disinfected, and also make sure that all your materials are within reach. This minimizes the risk for any airborne contaminants. So I attached my syringe filter, my sterile syringe filter, and I ensured that the connection was nice and tight. This is crucial to prevent any leaks or contamination. Most filters come with a plastic housing, so if your filter is new, it might be helpful to briefly prime it by drawing in a small amount of sterile water to check for any blockages. Before we move on to the next couple of steps, I wanted to discuss the importance of filter sterilization. In tissue culture, plant growth regulators like auxins, cytokinins, and gibberellins are essential for directing the growth and differentiation of plant cells. These compounds are often heat sensitive, meaning that traditional autoclaving or pressure cooking can actually degrade their structure and render them less effective or even inactive. And the thing that bothers me about this is that there's no certain way to know whether or not the solutions were as effective as they could have been, which is why I am filter sterilizing my 6-BAP and gibberellic acid, as those two seem to be the two common ones that seem to face some degradation in strength. That's where filter sterilization comes in. By passing these delicate solutions through a sterile filter, typically with a pore size of 0.22 or 0.45 microns, we can remove bacteria, fungi, and other contaminants without subjecting our PGRs to damaging heat. This simple yet powerful technique helps ensure that your tissue culture media remains both sterile and effective for promoting optimal plant growth. Let's take a quick look at the science behind this. Many PGRs are organic compounds with complex structures. When exposed to high temperatures like those in an autoclave or pressure cooker, typically 121 degrees Celsius, their molecular structure can change, leading to reduced efficacy. In contrast, filter sterilization uses a mechanical barrier, a membrane, with pores small enough to trap microorganisms while letting your valuable PGRs pass through intact. Not only is filter sterilization a must for heat-sensitive substances, but it's also a great option when working with solvents that might evaporate or change composition under high temperatures. Whether you're working with indole 3-acidic acid, IAA, benzoylaminopurine, PAP, or other hormones, using a filter keeps them safe and effective. Now we are ready to filter sterilize the solution. So with the filter attached and the solution drawn up, carefully expel the PGR solution into your sterile collection vial. In my case, I'm just pouring it directly into the media. The filtering process might take a while, especially if the solution is thick. If you encounter significant resistance or the filter clogs, you're going to want to pause and consider using a pre-filter or a fresh syringe filter. Patience here is key. Forcing the solution can compromise the sterility of your process. In my case, I was doing 4 milliliters of gibberellic acid, 2 milliliters in each liter of media. So I take care of that PGR first to eliminate the use of this syringe. Once filtered, I want to visually inspect my solution to ensure that it should be clear and free of any particulates. If everything looks good, then I want to seal up my media and it is ready to be added into my culture vessels. Now I want to answer some questions that many beginners ask about filter sterilization of PGRs. Question 1, what pore size should I use for my filter? So that's a great question. For most solutions, a 0.22 micron filter would be ideal because it removes the most bacteria and fungi. However, if your solution is thick or viscous, then you're going to want to be more practical and use the 0.45 micron filter and then switch to the 0.22. Question number 2, can I filter sterilize additives other than PGRs? Absolutely. Many heat-sensitive additives, such as vitamins, antibiotics, or even some sugars, can be filter sterilized. Just ensure that the solvent you are using doesn't react with your filter material. Question number 3. What should I do if I notice a drop in my tissue culture success rate? If you suspect contamination or reduced efficacy of your media, review your sterilization tips. It might be helpful to change your filter, reevaluate how you're doing your aseptic technique, or even pre-prepare your PGR solution. Consistency is key. Question number 4, is it possible to reuse syringe filters? I wouldn't recommend it, but I do. Once a syringe filter is used, even if it looks clean, it might harbor residual contaminants, and they do advise to always use a new sterile filter for each batch, but sterile filters are expensive, you guys, and so I only do it if I need to, and only on certain plant growth regulators that specifically call for it. I hope this comprehensive guide helps you master the art of filter sterilizing plant growth regulators into your tissue culture media. If you found this video useful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to Itsumi Botanicals, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future tutorials. I love to hear your questions and experiences, so please leave a comment below or tag me on social media with your progress and any tips that you might have. Thank you so much for watching, happy culturing, and I'll see you in the next video. Good luck!